Hey folks, Fernando doing our video for More Survivalists. I want to talk a little bit about what happened today in Virginia with the pro-gun rally, and most of all how the media has been portraying it to the rest of the world, because this is what people around the world and in US but also everywhere else ends up reading. So first of all, the way in which for days now it's been promoted as it's going to be this violent, terrible event. There's some very believable threats about what could happen and such, and nothing happened. It was a peaceful event, nothing at all. On the other hand, when the left does its protests and rallies, they end up causing all sorts of problems, fighting with the cops, making a big mess, destroying everything, and they end up with a giant chaos across the city when they gather. Here, none of that happened. So it says something about what each group represents and what they're really all about. Second thing I want to bring up is the humiliating treatment that people participating from that very peaceful rally had to put up with. First of all, the state of emergency had been declared so that they specifically couldn't bring their guns, which, what happened with the Second Amendment? I thought that people could walk with a firearm. Apparently not anymore. So not only were they denied their Second Amendment rights as they participated in a demonstration, a very peaceful one, just expressing their discontent with some extreme anti-gun laws, but also they were humiliated by being forced to form lines and being patted down as if they were criminals. I don't see them do that when the left does their rallies, so that also says quite a bit. Then the constant mention of the attempt to associate peaceful demonstrations with a white nationalist or some other fringe crazy group. They do this time and again. Now, I don't know about you, I saw a lot of footage of the event. There were lots of brown people, lots of black people, lots of white people, and people from all walks of life, as gun owners usually tend to be. So this attempt by the mainstream media, the liberal media, and their obvious agenda is pure bullshit. But they do this time and again. Whenever they brought up when you read some of the headlines, it is all the time. Pro-gun activists and white nationalists gather in, or pro-gun activists and far right. Check out this title. This is from yahoo.com, so yeah, you cannot expect much, but it says thousands of pro-gun activists and far right extremists swarm Richmond, Virginia. See what they're doing there. They say thousands of pro-gun activists. Sure enough, thousands, hundreds of thousands of pro-gun activists, or tens of thousands or whatever, and far-right extremists. How the hell do you know that there's also thousands of far-right extremists? Have you checked? Have you talked to each one of them? Have you verified this? No, they just pull this out of nowhere, out of their ass, and just make crap up. But it's just stuff that's to make people look bad. The only thing I can say is they do this everywhere. They do this in pretty much every other country. In Spain, where I am, they do this with political parties that are center or right-leaning. I voted for a party that is mostly conservative, right-leaning, but very traditional, even very centrist in some of their political views. But for the locals, it is far right. For the local media, it is Vox is a far right fascist political party, which could not be any further away from the truth. It is not by any means. In fact, many of the political views that they have, yes, a lot of them are conservative, a lot of them are traditional right, but a lot of them are quite centrist as well. Very balanced in their opinion. Now, this is an event that took place because what's happening in Virginia is quite concerning. People are losing their rights at a pace, at a rate that it's hard to believe it's happening in the United States. And if people don't do something, if people don't express their discontent with it, it's just going to be getting worse. Now, in this channel, The Modern Survivalist, we try to look at these things from the preparedness point of view. What is it that you're looking at here? You're looking at pretty concerning political events unfolding. You have people that are on one extreme and on the other, but mostly it is really people on one extreme on the left that are putting the rest of folks in an extreme opposed position. And for folks like myself, we're mostly moderate, balanced, trying to be level-headed and logical. You may make the mistake of thinking, okay, but I don't fall for that trap. I'm not on any far-right group. I'm not on any polarized opinion. I'm always trying to be level-headed and and logical with my points of view and the way I discuss, and I accept everyone's different opinions, and in spite of keeping my own. But I'm not in that extremist point, in that extremist place that the left wants to put you in. The thing is this: it doesn't really matter if you don't put yourself in that place. What happens is that when these folks put you in it, that's it. You are in that position, even if you don't put yourself in it yourself. They are in a very far left extreme position, and we've talked about this before in other videos about how you see the left getting more violent, more outspoken in their violence, how they're even going about their protests with guns, with firearms. They like having guns, and they are allowed to have guns in their protests and walk around doing security or whatever crap that they come up with. But they are allowed to have guns when they march and rally and protest. And they are the ones that are saying that they have guns so as to protect themselves against you and against me, against people that are not by any means extremists or polarized in their opinion. This is like someone walking down the street, and you don't have a problem with anyone. But if someone comes up and picks up a fight with you, it doesn't matter if you don't want to fight. It doesn't matter if you have nothing against that person. If I don't hate that person in any way, I don't have any ill emotions or any negative thoughts towards that person. If that person wants to start a fight with me, he's going to be leaving with no other choice but to defend myself. That is what may end up happening if things continue down this path, and it's pretty concerning. It's pretty it is something that should be kept in mind and keep track of as events keep unfolding, because it's obviously happening in one place and the other, and doesn't seem to be about to end anytime soon. Guys, that's it. I just want to cover this a little bit. Good for folks that express their opinion and their discontent with this, but it is not the end by any means. This is just the beginning. My book's still available in Amazon for, I think it's the last day of discounts. Street Survival Skills, my latest one, but also you can pick up my previous one, The Modern Survival Manual and Bugging Out and Relocating, like the three of them for about $50 in Amazon while the discount lasts. I think it's the last day of discount for these two, so keep that in mind. Guys, that's gonna be all for now. See you in our next video. Have an awesome day.